guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is Bible study day, and so we are going to be doing a Bible study with you guys. And today's Bible study is going to be out of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verses 23 through chapter 11 verses 1. So we're going to read these verses and then we'll talk about it.
It says, "All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. Let no one seek his own good, but the good of his neighbor. Eat whatever is sold in the meat market without raising any question on the ground of conscience. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. If one of the unbelievers invites you to dinner and you are disposed to go, eat whatever is set before you without raising any questions on the ground of conscience. But if someone says to you, 'This has been offered and sacrificed,' then do not eat it, for the sake of the one who informed you, and for the sake of conscience. I do not mean of your conscience, but for his. For why should my liberty be determined by someone else's conscience? If I partake with thankfulness, why am I denounced because of that, for which I give thanks? So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Give no offense to Jews or to Greeks or to the church of God, just as I try to please everyone in everything I do, not seeking my own advantage, but that of many, that they may be saved. Be imitators of me as I am of Christ."
Okay, so this kind of starts after what has happened in the previous chapters, and what that was is Paul addressing eating meals in the pagan temple. But in this section, he's moving to the issue of eating meat that's been sacrificed to idols, especially in private homes or in homes of unbelievers. So we're going to move into verse 23 through verse 25, and they say, "All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. Let no one seek his own good, but the good of his neighbor. Eat whatever is sold in the meat market without raising any question on the ground of conscience." So the commentary on where it says all things are lawful says, the quotation marks around this phrase have been supplied to indicate that this is probably a common used slogan among the Corinthians, such as like food is for the stomach. Probably another Corinthian slogan. The Corinthians have adopted from the culture around them the idea that the body is permitted to have everything that it craves. Paul knows that human desires are tainted with sin, which uses these desires to master the person for its own evil purpose.
Verses 27 and 28 say, where is 27? Oh, there it is. "If one of the unbelievers invites you to dinner and you are disposed to go, eat whatever is set before you without raising any question on the ground of conscience. But if someone says to you, 'This has been offered and sacrificed,' then do not eat it, for the sake of the one who informed you, and for the sake of conscience."
So basically, in this time, or even now, it would be rude to question the food that was set before you if you had been asked to dinner. So I think he's just pointing out that it's not really polite to do that.
So, yes, we should eat, and it's not wrong to eat. But if what you're eating could cause confusion about your beliefs to the unbeliever, then it's not helpful and it does not build up.
So the issue with this is it could cause moral harm in the mind of the unbeliever or in a Christian who is not as far along in their Christian walk as the one who is being watched. So then on verse 28, we're going to read the commentary because it lays out who the someone could have been, where it says, if someone says to you, "This food has been sacrificed to idols." So it gives three different possibilities of who that someone could have been.
This person may be 1. An unbeliever who thinks that Christians must abstain from such food and is confronting a believer with a test of faith. Or 2. An unbeliever who thinks Christians abstain from such food and in good faith wants the Christian to know where it came from. Or 3. A weak believer whose conscience dictates that Christians should avoid such food. Since the person's conscience motivated the comment and the weak believer's conscience was an important concern, This last option is most likely.
So I guess that's up to you to choose who you think that someone in that verse was. Verses 29 and 30 say, I do not mean your conscience, but his. For why should my liberty be determined by someone else's conscience? If I partake with thankfulness, why am I denounced because of that which I gave thanks?
So if someone raises questions about what you're doing not lining up with your beliefs, then because they think that it's wrong, don't partake in that. You may be able to make the distinction that you know what you're eating came from God, but to them it may look like you're okay with sacrificing to idols.
So a believer who's partaking of food that's been sacrificed to idols and is not under the belief that that food was for that idol, but the belief that God had provided that food for them and they're thankful to God that they have something to eat and they know where it truly came from, then it's not wrong to eat. But if it could be seen as wrong to someone else, then it's better not just to be part of it.
31 through 33 says, So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Give no offense to Jews or to Greeks or to the church of God. Just as I try to please everyone in everything I do, not seeking my own advantage, but that of many, that they may be saved.
So us as believers, everything that comes out of us has the potential to honor and glorify God, or possibly not. So it's our job to make sure that everything that we present is glorifying to Him, to make sure that our actions don't contradict our beliefs, as to not confuse others. So the last one is chapter 11, verse 1, and it says, Be imitators of me as I am of Christ.
So even though we aren't perfect and we won't be here on earth, we can still imitate Paul because he was imitating Christ's actions.
In doing that, then we will be probably sending out less confusion to people who are watching us. And people are watchers. They're watching us. They might not be reading their Bible, but they're watching us as Christians to learn what it is to be a Christian. So we need to be putting the best out there that we can.
So that's it for this Bible study. Thanks for joining us for this Bible study, and we hope that you will join us for next week's Bible study also.
We also post videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays is a faith-based video. Right now we're going through a book called What If God Wrote Your Bucket List by J. Payleitner, and it proves to be pretty interesting sometimes. So you can go check those out if that sounds interesting to you. And then on Fridays, we just do some kind of fun video, stuff that we like doing, like makeup, nails, fashion, DIYs, food, of course, and anything like that. And we hope you guys will come check them out.
If you guys are interested in any of that, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to be notified when we upload new videos, hit the little bell after you subscribe.
Hope you have a good day, have a good week, and don't forget to shine. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye!